Bob, well done. Ray, I told you he's got a new career and he's working hard at getting on your music list. So yes, so well done, Bob. I thought that was, is that not toe tapping music? I don't know what is, right? So welcome. This is Tech for Senior. I'm Ron Brown. This is, we're happy you're going to be with us for the next hour. This is episode 229. It's August the 26th, 2024. I want to thank everyone for coming. And I hope everyone had a good time reading the newsletter this week. On Saturday morning, of course, we released the newsletter with the quiz. And so the quiz was all about Google Drive and my presentation last week. And we had someone last week who said they never could get the third question. So I don't remember who that was, but if you took the quiz and you saw the third question, not only was it easy, but the answer was highlighted. So I made it super easy for question 3 that was highlighted. So you should have got the right answer. It was super easy. Anyway, we want to thank the series of the newsletter as they go out every morning, every Saturday. And that would be, of course, the Glendora Seniors Computer Club, Central Florida Computer Society, and that great website and those great people that run that run Geeks on Tour. So thank you so much and for sponsoring our newsletter. And we are having fun. Today's the next quiz will be on next Saturday. Will be on Gemini, so pay attention to the presentations this week. We have a big show for you today, so I'm not going to spend too much time yakking, but I do want to introduce everybody today. Huey, of course, had his AI this week. How did that go, Huey?
It went very well, and we had a good time. And Mike Ungerman did a session on Discord Saturday on the APCUG sessions that they had, and it was great. It was great. So lots of good information out there if you want to take the time to watch it.
Very good. And Bob's, are you looking for Ray's job, or what's going on now with this music?
Well, I wrote the lyrics and then I put AI to work and I just told it what type of music I want and it did the rest for me. So the only
that wasn't you singing, Bob?
That wasn't you singing?
No, heck no. You don't want to hear me singing.
Ray, do you think you'll ever make it on your list?
Absolutely. And in fact, now you've given me the definition of toe tapping music. Very nice.
There you go. And of course, Bill, how are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Great.
Nothing going on here.
We look forward to your article on gadgets on Tuesday on our Tuesday newsletter. Excellent.
What happened?
And then of course, Chris and Jim, who had a great show yesterday in 2 parts, part A and part B, right?
We crashed, but we didn't burn.
This is true.
There you go.
We crashed at 35 minutes, recorded the next 10, uploaded that.
Now Facebook stayed on the whole
That was
time.
so weird.
Yeah, but
Really?
the stream. Now, if we had used StreamYard, what you use on Thursday, it would have continued on, but it was because it was my bandwidth that went out. I'm not sure. Anyhow, it may have gone to black. Who knows? Thanks.
All right. All right. Let's get on with the show then. Bob, take it away.
Here's my security news roundup for the week ending August 23rd, 2024. OpenAI blocks Iranian influence operation using ChatGPT for U.S. election propaganda. OpenAI on Friday said it banned a set of accounts linked to what it said was an Iranian covert influence operation that leveraged ChatGPT to generate content that, among other things, focused on the upcoming U.S. presidential election. This week, we identified and took down a cluster of ChatGPT accounts that were generating content for a covert Iranian influence operation identified as Storm 2035, OpenAI said. The operation used ChatGPT to generate content focused on a number of topics, including commentary on candidates on both sides in the U.S. presidential election, which it then shared via social media accounts on websites. Read more at ℙ𝕝𝕉𝕗.com. North Korean hackers used a Windows zero-day exploit. Hackers aren't just nerds rapidly typing away in dimly lit rooms, as seen in the movies. More and more threats are coming from what are known as state-level hackers, who are teams of people either employed directly or contracted by a government who attack other governments, corporations, and agencies. Not long ago, security researchers spotted North Korean hackers doing just that with a recently patched Windows vulnerability. Gen Digital, a consortium of researchers from security software vendors like Norton, Avast, Avira, and AVG, says it spotted North Korean state-level hackers using a Windows zero-day exploit. Read more at PCWorld.com. Google will update Pixel phones to remove Verizon's unsafe demo app. Security researchers shared a concerning discovery made in the firmware of multiple Pixel smartphones. A software package identified as showcase.apk appeared to leave handsets vulnerable to a number of different attack vectors, with no obvious way to remove it. Since news of this issue first surfaced, Google has been speaking out to clarify the serious limitations that help mitigate the potential impact of a Showcase exploit, while also committing to remove the software from affected Pixel phones. Showcase, a Google spokesperson explained to Android Authority, is an app developed by Smith Micro for use as an internal Verizon demo, letting the carrier easily highlight phone features to shoppers in its stores. Read more at AndroidAuthority.com. Google has to face a class action lawsuit over Chrome's data collection. Google will have to face a class action lawsuit that accuses it of collecting users' data through Chrome without their consent. In a decision on Tuesday, a federal appeals court reversed a December 2022 ruling that dismissed the case, saying the lower court should have reviewed Google's disclosure and determined whether a reasonable user reading them would think that he or she was consenting to the data collection. The class action lawsuit, first filed in 2020, alleges that Google collected data from Chrome users regardless of whether they enabled Chrome Sync. Read more at TheVerge.com. Google fixes high-severity Chrome flaw actively exploited in the wild. Google has rolled out security fixes to address a high-severity security flaw in its Chrome browser that it said has come under active exploitation in the wild. Tracked as CVE 2024-7971, the vulnerability has been described as a type confusion bug in the V8 JavaScript and WebAssembly engine. Type confusion in V8 in Google Chrome prior to 128.0.6613.84 allowed a remote attacker to exploit heap corruption via a crafted HTML page, according to a description of the bug in the NIST National Vulnerability Database. The Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center and Microsoft Security Response Center have been credited with discovering and reporting the flaw on August 19, 2024. Read more at thehackernews.com. Hardware backdoor discovered in RFID cards used in hotels and offices worldwide. Cybersecurity researchers have uncovered a hardware backdoor within a particular model of MyFair Classic contactless cards that could allow authentication with an unknown key and open hotel rooms and office doors. This backdoor enables any entity with knowledge of it to compromise all user-defined keys on these cards, even when fully diversified, simply by accessing the card for a few minutes. Quarks Lab researcher Philip Yuan said, "The secret key is not only common to existing FM11RF08S cards. The investigation found that the attacks could be executed instantaneously by an entity in a position to carry out a supply chain attack." Read more at thehackernews.com. Is your Social Security number in the National Public Debt Breach? Here's how to find out. A massive data breach has Americans worried about their private info getting into the wrong hands, but a pair of newly released websites could make it easier to find out if you're affected. Initially, it wasn't easy to see if your personal information was ensnared in the breach, since the stolen database of 277 gigabytes, but New Jersey-based Atlas Privacy Data Corporation has created npdbreach.com. Follow the link listed, which can flag if your Social Security phone number or full name and zip code are in the archive. The site also doesn't store any user searches. Read more at pcmag.com. Microsoft is bringing recall back to Windows 11. Microsoft announced in June that it would make significant changes to recall, including encrypting the text and screenshot database, making it an opt-in feature, and requiring Windows Hello authentication for access. The updated version of Copilot will soon be available to test for Windows insiders, starting in October. The company said in a blog post, "We have adjusted our release approach to leverage valuable expertise of our Windows Insider community prior to making recall available for all Copilot Plus PCs. Security continues to be our top priority, and when recall is available for Windows Insiders in October, we will publish a blog with more details. Read more at howtogeek.com. This week's must-see on my YouTube channel: Home Title Theft. How real is the threat? What protection is available? What can the homeowner do to protect him or herself? Discover the hidden threat of home title theft and learn how to protect your most valuable asset, your home. Please watch my video on that topic by following the link listed. Did you know octopuses have 3 hearts? 2 pump blood to the gills, while the third pumps it to the rest of the body. Clearly, octopuses are overachievers in the heart department. You can't hum while holding your nose. Go on, try it. I'll wait. See, you learned something and had a laugh at the same time. Just thought you might like to know. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. Thanks to Elon Musk. And that's a wrap for this week's Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching and listening.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob. That is always interesting news. I want to just remind everybody that we have Tech for Senior, our educational series as well today at 1/2 and I put the link in the chat for you with the YouTube video link as well. The topics today will be Bob's going to talk on digital estate planning, which I think was an excellent video he did a year ago. And he was going to talk about Windows 11 update. Now, it is an update that occurred a year ago, but I think there's a lot of good information in there. And I'm going to talk about where did curved TV monitors go, and where nobody has a curved TV anymore. Where did they go? So anyway, that'll be 1/2, and it is also, we put that link in our Saturday newsletter. Ray, are we going to get brain stimuli today, or what's happened? Are you going to talk about we can zap our brains and make them smarter, or what's going on with this?
Well, let's find out. Let's see if I can make this work here. Part one of today's presentation is going to be the CPU versus the NPU. What's the difference? And this is a quick refresher on a topic recently covered by Ron. NPU and a CPU, the central processing unit. I'm going to break it down by various categories. First category is function. CPU chips are what their name implies. The chip that handles the central processing by executing instructions and performing a variety of operations. Neural chips are designed for neural network computations and machine learning as related to artificial intelligence tasks. They excel at handling large-scale operations. The architecture. The CPU is versatile and supports many applications using architectural terms we are familiar with, such as x86 and ARM. Neural chips have new architecture that optimize for neural network workloads with new terminology. Example, the TPU, which is known as the tensor processing units. Parallelism. CPU chips are designed to balance performance with power efficiency. Neural chips focus on and accelerate neural network computations by handling multiple data points simultaneously. Then the category of memory. CPUs follow the traditional memory hierarchy, such as RAM and storage. Neural chips have specialized memory structures to handle large neural network computations. Then we have energy efficiency. CPU looks to find a balance between performance and power consumption. The neural chip is optimized for energy efficiency during background activities. In summary, neural chips are specialized for AI workloads, while regular computer chips handle diverse tasks. All right, now on to part two, focusing on the Neuralink Corporation and the N1 brain implant. Neuralink Corp and the N1 brain implant. So Neuralink Corp is an American neurotechnology company founded in 2016 by Elon Musk and a team of 7 scientists and engineers from the fields of neuroscience, biochemistry, and robotics. Their mission was to create an implantable brain-computer interface, now known as a BCI, that allows direct communication between the brain and external devices with the goal of treating medical conditions. So how does the N1 implant differ from the NPU chip? Well, primarily they serve 2 different purposes. The NPU chip is a hardware component for computer-related devices and is designed to accelerate neural network computations. The primary focus is on machine learning and optimizing computational efficiency. But the BCI, the brain-computer interface, that is implanted directly into the brain to facilitate communication between neural circuits and external devices, thus enabling the user to control computers or mobile devices wirelessly. How is the N1 implant done? Well, it's a system that involves ultra-thin probes being inserted into the brain, a neurosurgical robot to perform the operations, and a high-density electronic system capable of processing information from neurons. Each probe consists of an area of wires that contains electrodes capable of locating electrical signals in the brain, and a sensory area where the wire interacts with an electronic system that allows amplification and acquisition of the brain signal. So the potential applications of Neuralink technology? I asked Copilot, what are the potential applications of Neuralink technology? And the following slides show the answers based on various categories. Medical applications. Relating to paralysis rehabilitation. Neuralink can help paralyzed individuals regain mobility by allowing them to control robotic limbs or exoskeletons directly from their brain. Neurological disorders. It could treat conditions like epilepsy, Parkinson's disease, and depression by modulating neural activity. And then brain injury recovery. The technology might aid in brain injury recovery by stimulating damaged areas. Assistive devices, prosthetics and augmentations. Neuralink could enhance prosthetic limbs, enabling more natural movements and sensory feedback. And then sensory augmentation, it might allow blind or deaf individuals to perceive visual or auditory information through brain signals. Communication, direct brain-to-brain communication. Imagine sending thoughts or emotions directly to another person's brain. And enhanced communication devices, improved communication for people with speech impairments or locked-in syndrome. And then we have the category of cognitive enhancement, memory augmentation, enhancing memory storage and retrieval, and then speeding up learning processes by directly interfacing with the brain. Now, what are the ethical considerations? Ensuring data privacy and preventing unauthorized access to neural information, and then also addressing concerns related to consent, autonomy, and potential misuse. So, the first patient has received a Neuralink implant. ℙ𝕉𝕠 is a 29-year-old who has become a quadriplegic following a diving accident at a summer camp lake in Pennsylvania. Following the implant, using his mind, he was able to move a cursor on a computer screen to control music and move the pieces in a game of chess. It was reported that since the operation, up to 85% of the implant threads from the device had detached. So this is an issue that is still being worked on. Nonetheless, Nolan said the implant has dramatically improved his quality of life, and he is excited about the future. Now, a second patient has received a Neuralink implant, and this is recent. Only last Thursday, August 22, Neuralink reported a second patient named Alex with a spinal cord injury was able to control a cursor on a computer screen within 5 minutes of having the system turned on. A major difference in this patient's progress is there has been no observed retraction of the delicate threads of electrodes from inside Alex's brain, a problem, as discussed before, for Nolan. Neuralink predicts more capabilities will be added over time by refining the software itself. So what are the goals for the future of Neuralink? Elon Musk said, quote, "We feel pretty confident that in the next year or two, someone with a Neuralink implant would be able to outperform a pro gamer because the reaction time would be faster," unquote. Neuralink's overarching aim is to create a brain-machine interface that will revolutionize how humans interact with technology and potentially lead to groundbreaking advancements in medicine, communication, and human cognition. The goal of Neuralink devices is to eventually be able to repair damaged neurons and help people with issues such as paralysis. In summary, neural chips play a crucial role in advancing brain-computer interfaces and AI applications, whether it's restoring autonomy for individuals with medical needs or enhancing AI performance. These chips are at the forefront of cutting-edge technology. Now, I have put in the chat a link to an episode of the Kim Komando Show where she interviews ℙ𝕉𝕠 that will provide more insight into this remarkable advancement. Thanks to Mike Ungerman for alerting me to this interview. Just type the name ℙ𝕉𝕠 in the YouTube search box for even more interviews. I think this type of technology is better than that relates to our computers, because this is basically will be helping human improvement. Thank you for your time, and the end.
Very interesting, Ray. That's I think that's a big future we're ahead of us here. I think there's lots of really cool things are going to happen with that
I
technology.
love to see that technology is going to really directly relate to helping hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people.
Yeah, they've done some,
Physically.
I mean, some of the recent implants are not quite the same, but they've helped with Parkinson's disease, and they've really done well with that. It's not quite the same idea, but it's impressive what's taking place. Speaking of impressive, I have been very impressed lately, and I made a video about it. So let me just show you how impressed I was. Gemini Live just released this past week for a select group of Android and Pixel phones. This is incredible. This is conversational AI, Gemini Live. In this video, we're going to show you how to set it up, where to get it. I'm going to get Gemini Live to help me troubleshoot some ideas for a video I want to make. We're going to send it over to Canva or PowerPoint and make a YouTube video. So stay tuned and let me show you how it's done. So I'm Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. We help seniors understand technology and explain this rocky, wild, changing field of AI. You know, when I was a young lad, I remember Space Odyssey and HAL 9000 and how we interact and talk to the computer. Well, now with Gemini Live, it's all possible right on my smartphone. That's so cool. You got to see this. It's a game changer. So let's have a look at Gemini Live. What is Gemini? Well, you've probably heard about Copilot, Bard, all sorts of things in the past few months about AI. Well, simply Gemini is Google's AI. Now, Gemini Live is only available on the mobile device. So today we're going to focus only on mobile devices using Gemini Live. But of course, Gemini is available on all devices, including your mobile and PC. Gemini Live, unfortunately, is not available for the iPhone. So let's start out on where you might find or download or how you're going to get Gemini Live. Well, first you have to start with Gemini. Now, Gemini is on the mobile device a replacement for Google Assistant. So let's talk about where you're going to get Gemini Live from. But first we have to look at where you're going to get Gemini from. So we're going to talk only about mobile devices. So if you have a Pixel phone, then Google Assistant will be on your phone automatically. Now, Gemini will be replacing this, and that should have happened automatically. The first thing you need to do is make sure that the Google Assistant has been replaced by Gemini. Now, if you go to the Play Store and you typed in and searched for Gemini Live, you wouldn't find it. There is nothing there that says Gemini Live. The only thing you'll see is the Gemini app. And as I said, if you have a Samsung S24, just make sure you download that and install it. If you have a Pixel phone, it's likely already done for you. And when you access either the Gemini app or the Google Assistant on a Pixel phone, then you will be able to see Gemini. Now, Gemini on your mobile device, since it's going to be used as your personal assistant, is integrated into your calendar, your email. All features on your phone will be able to be accessed for Gemini because, of course, it's going to be there to help you. So let's just go over this one more time. There's a big difference between Gemini and Gemini Live. And I want to just go over that to make sure it's crystal clear. Gemini is Google's AI. It works as a Google Assistant on your phone. It is available on all Android and even iPhones. So it is universally present and it runs as an app on your phone, not needing to be connected to the cloud. So when we talk about Gemini Live, it's different. Gemini Live is conversational AI. This is restricted to only Android phones. There's a select group of Pixel and Samsung phones that allow this to be present. It only works if it's connected to the cloud. So the other interesting thing about Gemini AI is it has no personal access to your information on your phone. So you can't ask it to send an email or book an appointment or anything you can do that Gemini will do, because it has no information and does not have access to your personal information on the phone. So how do you get Gemini Live? Well, it's sort of magic. This is my Pixel 8 Pro that I'm doing the demonstration on, and you'll see this is the my home screen, and at the bottom you'll see I've opened Gemini, and there's a little circle to the right side, and when you click that, that will start Gemini Live up. If you don't see that circle there, you don't have Gemini Live. So just to review that again, there is no Gemini Live app. Don't go to the Play Store. Don't look for the Gemini Live app, because there is none. It works through the Gemini app when it's enabled. So you say, how am I going to get this enabled? Well, it is a paid for service. Now, there are many different ways that you might have this enabled. Now, it may be enabled on a new phone that you bought, and you may have a free service for a couple of months. It may be related to a Google One subscription, such as I have, and this is available through your Google account, and this would allow you to have access to this. And it also gives you your your Gemini Advanced feature. So it's like the advanced Chat GPT. And I think they're all the different services all want about $20 a month. And this is indeed what Google is doing. So unless you have one of the services which you have a paid or a free trial or something, you won't see that circle there. Now, in my case, I'm not sure, because I bought a new Pixel 8 Pro, whether it was there because of that, but I also have it enabled through my Google One subscription. So let's see how it works. All right, let's see how this works. I'm going to start with a command, and we'll see what happens here. As you'll see on my phone, it brings up the Google Assistant, which is now Gemini. So now we're going to tap this here to this little button that I told you before to bring up Gemini Live.
Okay, sounds good. Is there anything else on your mind?
Yes, I make videos for Tech for Senior, and I'm interested in some topics about technology that we could discuss with seniors. I'm thinking of making a video.
That's a fantastic idea. Tech for seniors is a great niche, and there's always something new to learn. Here are a few ideas. First, smartphones are a minefield of confusion for older folks. Maybe a video on the basics like making calls, texting, simple apps, or even taking decent pictures would be helpful. Also, cybersecurity is a never-ending concern.
Let's go back and talk about smartphones. What topics about smartphones could I make a video about?
There's a lot you could cover with smartphone basics. Here's a few ideas. Let's start broad a video on the most important apps for seniors. Think things like making calls, texting, a simple camera app, maybe even something like a weather app. You could also focus on one particular app in detail, like how to use WhatsApp to chat with family and friends, or how to video call on something like FaceTime. Last up, you could do a troubleshooting video. Cover things like how to turn a phone on and off, how to find the charger, or what to do if the battery dies. So would you rather do a general overview of helpful apps, focus on one app in particular, or put together a little troubleshooting guide?
Let's talk about WhatsApp and staying connected with your family. I've done a bunch of videos about that before.
What about a video on using WhatsApp to make free video calls to family and friends?
That's a great idea.
Make a follow-up video on using other...
Let's...
Great. I think a video like that would be really useful for seniors. It could help them feel more connected to their loved ones, especially if they're far away. Do you want a few tips for making the video easy to follow?
Yes, I want you to tell me 3 tips that I could use in my video.
All right, here are 3 tips to make your WhatsApp video call tutorial easy to follow. First, use simple language and avoid technical jargon. Seniors might not know what a profile picture is, so just call it an avatar instead. Second, use lots of visuals. Instead of just talking about how to find the video call button, actually show them where it is on their screen. Last, keep things moving. You don't want your video to be too long or they'll lose interest. Focus on the most important steps and try to keep the whole video around 5 to 7 minutes.
Could you create an outline for me?
Absolutely. Here's a simple outline to get you started. First, you'll want a quick intro. Welcome your viewers and let them know what the video is about. Making video calls on WhatsApp. Then, jump into the tutorial part. Start with opening WhatsApp and finding the Chats tab. Next, show them how to start a new chat or find an existing one. After that, show them the video call button and how to tap it. Now it's time to wrap things up. Do a quick recap of the steps, wish them luck, and maybe even ask them to subscribe to your channel for more helpful videos.
So all the information saved in Gemini Live is saved in a text file, and you can actually save it. You can email it, you can export it, lots of things you can do with it, but all that discussion we had about my idea for a video is certainly saved. Now what I've done is I've taken some of those key ideas now and I've come over to Canva and I've added it into Magic Design, and this has created a quick video. It doesn't get any easier. This took me a few seconds to do this, and it's now created a presentation for me. So let's have a look here. You'll see the title says Staying Connected. And then we go on here and you'll see the different slides as we go through and all the things that we discussed with Gemini, and you'll see all the slides it's made for me as we go through here. It doesn't get any easier than that. So it's very easy to take the data, export it, and put it into Canva or PowerPoint and create these great presentations. It's so easy to do. It makes it a snap. All right, let's summarize this presentation into 5 key points. The first is Gemini Live is only available on the mobile device. The second issue is Gemini Live is only available on select Pixel and Samsung phones. You'll have to check if your model has this. The third thing is that Gemini is different than Gemini Live. Gemini Live is cloud-based and does not contain your personal information. Gemini, of course, is the new replacement for the Google Assistant. The fourth thing is there is no app for Gemini Live, so don't go looking at the Play Store trying to find it. It is part of Gemini. And if you have subscribed or paid for or you've activated Gemini Live, then that little dot right beside the search bar in Gemini will show you where to click for Gemini Live. And the last point is that, of course, it isn't free. You may have this as a trial version for a couple of months or as part of your Google One account, but there is a cost, and it looks like it's going to be around $20 a month. This will be slowly rolling out over the next few months, and I think you should give it a try. It's a blast. So I'm Ron Brown, and this has been Tech for Senior. I hope you've enjoyed the video had as much fun as I did making it. The one thing I can assure you, if you like and subscribe, okay, Gemini Live. Bob, tell us all about title fraud.
Picture this. You're sitting in your cozy home enjoying a cup of coffee, blissfully unaware that someone somewhere is plotting to swipe the very title of that home right from under your nose. Sounds like a plot twist in a crime thriller, right? But here's the kicker. It's real, and it's called home title theft. What is home title theft? How real is the threat? Unfortunately, it's as real as your mortgage bill. Home title theft is when a criminal fraudulently transfers your property's title into their name. They can then take out loans against your property, sell it, or even attempt to kick you out of your own home. It's like your worst nightmare of identity theft, but with a house. What protection is available? Now, don't start packing your bags just yet. There are ways to protect yourself, and they range from simple steps you can take on your own to paid services that monitor your title like a hawk. Let's dive into what's on the market. Paid services, the full body armor. For those of you who prefer the peace of mind that comes with paying for protection, no, not that kind of protection. There are services like Home Title Lock. They monitor the title of your property and alert you if there's any suspicious activity. Think of it as a bodyguard for your deed. These services typically cost between $15 and $20 a month, which is like the cost of a pizza, but instead of eating it, you're making sure no one steals your house. Free services, do-it-yourself home defense. Not into shelling out extra cash? No problem. There are free methods to keep an eye on things. For starters, you can periodically check the status of your deed through your county's property records office. It's like checking your bank statement, but for your home's title. Some counties even offer free alerts if changes are made to your property records. Now that's some do-it-yourself home defense. Monitoring and prevention. Be your own security system. Whether you chose paid services or decided to go the free route, there are a few things you can do to keep the bad guys at bay. Regularly check your property records. Make it a habit to look up your property records every few months. It's tedious, sure, but so is losing your home. Freeze your credit. Many title thieves start by stealing your identity. Freezing your credit can stop them in their tracks before they even get started. Be wary of unsolicited offers. If someone's offering you a quick cash deal on your home, be skeptical. Scammers love to prey on those who aren't paying attention. What if theft occurs? Reclaiming what's yours. So what happens if, despite all your efforts, someone manages to steal your title? First, take a deep breath. It's going to be a long road, but you can get your title back. Contact the authorities. Start by filing a report with your local law enforcement. This is a criminal matter, after all. Notify your lender. If you have a mortgage, let your lender know immediately. They need to be in the loop, especially if the thief is trying to take out loans against your property. Hire a lawyer. You'll likely need legal help to navigate the process of reclaiming your title. This can be costly and time-consuming, but it's crucial to get everything sorted out. File a quiet title lawsuit. This is a legal process that essentially asks the court to declare you as the rightful owner of the property. It's like holding up your title in court and saying, "This is mine." Recovery process. Patience is key. The recovery process isn't going to be a sprint. It's more like a marathon with hurdles. You'll need to be patient, persistent, and prepared to deal with a fair amount of paperwork. But rest assured, with the right steps and a good lawyer, you can get your title back and ensure your home remains your castle. And there you have it, the ins and outs of home title theft. It's a scary thought, but with the right precautions, you can sleep soundly knowing your home is safe. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, and thanks for reading, watching, and listening.
Are you going to go ahead with your next one, Bob?
Yeah, I didn't know whether you wanted to mention anything about it or...
Well, I can talk a minute. I'll just say a couple of things about it, maybe, Bob. Yeah, a great video. I did a lot of, when I lived in Mesa, and for our computer club down there, I did some talks about title searches and title fraud. Now, the interesting thing about it is that what Bob said is you're going to get your title back, but on the panel that I gave a bunch of presentations, and there were a lot of lawyers and legal people that on this panel that I was on, and it isn't so easy. In fact, In fact, the stats at that time when I was doing the presentations was it was a 50-50 chance because you had to go before the courts and someone did buy the house. They did have the title and there was, $500,000 did get transferred and they bought it, but just they didn't buy it from you. So it depends on what the legal system says, and it isn't always so clear. So it is and the other thing that's really important is to get your annual credit report. In Canada, the United States, it is law that your Equifax, TransUnion, and the credit reporting agencies have to give you your annual credit report, and that is so important to do that once a year, and look at that report because you're looking for loans or mortgages or stuff that shouldn't be on that credit report, and sometimes you can get that dealt with.
Let's go on to the next.
Okay, yeah, we can do that in the Q&A.
Good morning, Tech for Senior. I'm back with another short little tip, and today we're going to talk about Circle to Search in your Chrome browser, not on your phone, your Chrome browser. Let me show you how to set it up. I learned about this trick through a newsletter that I received from J.R. Raphael on Android intelligence. But this isn't for Android. This is for your Chrome browser. To get it started, go up to the top right, the three-dot menu, and when you have a page open that has information on it that you'd like to search any part of using Circle to Search, once you open this menu, go down to where it says Search with Google Lens. Select that. Now, as it says here, select anything to search with Google Lens. In this case, I'm just going to highlight that little image and see what it comes up with. And look, right over there, it says how to use Google's Circle of Search. And it's from theintelligence.com, which is this newsletter that I subscribe to. Many other things come up that are similar, but you noticed the first thing here is the icon on this website. One other thing to notice is that up near the address bar to the right of it, you'll notice that little icon looks like a camera. If you do a right click on it, you can pin this to that address bar, and then you don't have to use the three-dot menu anymore. So if I pin it, it's now part of that address bar. If I get out of this and go back to the website itself, if I wanted to use Circle to Search again, I don't have to use the three-dot menu. I just simply click on the icon and it says select anything to search for. So even though you don't have a camera, you can still use Circle to Search, and you can use it right directly in the Chrome browser. Give it a try. You might enjoy it. Stay safe, stay secure. I hope this helps. Bye-bye, and thanks for watching and listening.
Thanks, Bob. Interesting. I just updated my Chrome browser this morning and saw that, and I said, "Oh, Bob, did you know?" And he said, "I'm doing a video about it today." So
well, the video was produced a couple of days ago, but
yeah.
You do have to update to the latest version of Chrome, and it's only available in the Chrome browser.
Right.
You won't find it in a Chromium-based browser.
Right. Cool. Interesting. Thanks so much. Now, before we get into Ray's section, I just want to thank everyone for coming over on our YouTube feed. We do have to say goodbye now. Don't forget that we have our premium video coming up at hour. Don't forget we have a Thursday show this week. So that's anyway, we hope to see you again. Otherwise, we'll be back same time, same place next week when Huey is going to be the MC. Yes, so I get to next week off. Yay! And so anyway, that's happening all next week. And take it away, Ray. I'll just turn off the YouTube feed and take it away.
Okay, thank you, sir. Modern day musical dynamic duo, Gaga and Mars. Today's focus will be on two contemporary singers who are very much alive and performing on a regular basis. That would be Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. In fact, Lady Gaga has a busy year ahead as she stars opposite Joaquin Phoenix in Joker ℙ𝕝𝕗, which hits theaters on October 4. Rumor has it she has also been working on her 8th studio album. Mars, for his part, has not released a solo album since 2016's 24K Magic, though he has continued to regularly perform in Las Vegas and internationally. Now, Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars shared how their unexpected collaboration, Die With a Smile, came together. The song and video were released earlier this month. Bruno and I have a lot of mutual respect for each other, and we're talking about collaborating, Gaga said. I was finishing up my own album in Malibu, and one night after a long day, he asked me to come to his studio to hear something he was working on, she continued. It was around midnight when I got there, and I was blown away when I heard what he had started making. Gaga said she and Mars, both 38 years old, stayed up all night to finish writing and recording the instantly timeless ballad. Bruno's talent is beyond explanation. His musicianship and vision are next level. There's no one like him, she enthused. Mars, for his part, raved that working with Gaga was an honor, adding, she's an icon and she makes this song magical. I'm so excited for everyone to hear it. The video finds Gaga playing piano and Mars strumming a guitar, sharing a love song with such unique lyrics as, if the world was ending, I'd want to be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was through, I'd want to hold you just for a while and die with a smile. Now, Bruno Mars is my favorite male contemporary singer, and I feel he is at his best when he duets with a female singer. As I showcased only on my second session on Tech for Senior, that was almost 4 years ago to the day, with a mashup featuring Adele. Lady Gaga is incredible when it comes to reinventing herself and her looks. Her duets with male singers such as Tony Bennett, Elton John, and of course Bradley Cooper from the movie A Star Is Born have become legendary. Here they are together with a brand new song, Die With a Smile. That's it. And Ron, we've ended exactly on time. I don't know how often we've done that, but it's not been too often.
That was great. What's with the cigarette, though? What was the cigarette in your mouth meaningful? I didn't get the cigarette thing.
The scene is supposed to take place back in, I think, the 50s or 60s. You can see by the way they were dressed and the hairstyles and whatnot. And let's face it, a lot of society smoked back in the 50s.
True. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I learned something. There we go. That's cool. Yep. I like the music. It was a good one. And we finished right on time. So let that be a lesson to Huey for next week. Let's see if we can. That's it. Let's see if Huey can finish right on time. All right. Before we get to the questions, I want to thank everyone for coming today. I know it's we do appreciate the hour that you spend with us. We're going to move now into our Q&A, and we'll just put your hand up and we'll be able to answer your questions if we have any. I just want to remind everybody that our video, our premiere video, will be at 1/2 the hour. Bob's going to be talking about digital estate planning. He's going to talk about Windows updates, and I'm going to talk about curved TVs, where they went. So it should be a fun video for you. I put the link in the chat for you. And let's get on with the questions. Murray, you have the first question.
Yes, I listened to it all, and I did not hear what I remember to be the comment that you mentioned earlier on before the main show started. So can you remind me what that comment was and how it was refuted?
Oh, you asked about, you said that Google Lens was not available on Windows. Well, of course it is.
Oh, it is.
It is through the Chrome browser. Yeah, it is through the Chrome browser. So
yeah. So I'll try that. Maybe that's easier.
Yeah, no, it works great. I mean, yeah, exactly. When you said this morning, you said that Google Lens wasn't there. I thought, well, you got to listen to Bob's talk.
Okay, well, thank you.
It's the Chrome.
Circle the
just
search is
circle the search.
Google
Yeah.
Lens.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you very much.
That's right. That's good. And the other thing, I don't know if I mentioned that for those of you who did the quiz, did I mention earlier? I can't remember. I mentioned it before the show started, but someone in the show always said they couldn't get question 3. So question 3, of course, this week I made it so it was real easy. And we also highlighted the answer for question 3. So whoever could never get question 3, you should have got question 3. Carl, go ahead.
Yeah. Is Google search and the feature on Samsung S24 Ultra, is that the same thing?
So are you talking about, Carl? I'm not exactly sure. What do you mean Google search?
Well, no, not Google Circle. I meant, if I said search, I meant circle.
Oh, sure, it'd be the same. It'd be the same because it's part of the Chrome browser.
Well, on Samsung, you know that you could do a circle of a website and it'll, or some
Yeah, but you
feature
can
that
do
will
that
do
on a Pixel also and some other phones. This one puts that same feature onto the Chrome browser so that you can do searching by simply circling something within the
Okay, well,
browser.
okay. So they're different, but they perform the same function.
Correct. They're using the same technology, but applying it to a different platform. In this case, it's your browser. Whereas
Yeah.
on the
Well,
phone, you'd have to open up the browser and then you can use circle to search. Here, you
Yeah.
open up the Chrome browser and you use that function.
That
That's a good
Google, the Google Voice that Ron demonstrated is supposed to be available on the S24. I have an S22 and it is not available, but I understand the Pixels and the S24, it may be available. So you might want to check that as well.
Well, a follow up on the Gemini. Okay, so I was able to get Gemini, and then I went to do live, like you said at the bottom, and so it came up. It enabled Google Music. Now what do I do, Ron?
Excuse me. I think that it's probably not. Did you get that little button on the side there? You probably do not have, unless you've paid for Gemini Live, you won't have it. All right. So you're probably just bringing up Google Music, which
don't have Gemini Pro. You don't have Gemini Live.
Right. So
okay, well, I did the live. I mean, I did Gemini, the app. And then at the bottom, I opened up the microphone and I said live.
No, that's not
the same. Then it brought up Google Music.
No, you have to watch on the video. You have to see that circle. That circle has to be there. And it will only be there if you subscribe to it.
Okay, well, thank you for the clarification. Thank you.
And it's a paid service, okay? Anne-Marie, go ahead.
Hello, good morning. Still talking about powering Apple iPhone 14 to a PC. And I'd done it before and I couldn't figure out how to do it anymore and it had all disappeared. So there's a lot of apps for that. And of course, the first one I paid for and installed was from Apple to Apple, so it didn't work. So I found something and it's called Air Server Windows Desktop Edition. That seems to work, but it costs $20. And now Michael said there's a free version of something that I'm going to try also. So I might have solved my problem. Either I pay the money or I just try that free one. But I do want to demonstrate on my PC when I give a class, and show my phone. So that's what I'm going to do. So any other ideas?
Yeah, so Anne-Marie, what you could do is in a Zoom meeting, just log on with your iPhone and share your screen and you've got it right there.
That's right. It's in the Zoom meeting. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I knew I had done it before.
Right. Just I do that all the time. Just take whatever device you have, whether it's a Chromebook or whatever, just log into a Zoom meeting with your
That's how I've done it before. I totally forgot about it. I
Yeah,
have
and then
this
just share
other
your
app that I
screen.
don't know.
Yeah,
That's what I
Yeah,
was gonna say, yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's how I
Yeah.
did the video. That's how I did the video that what I
Oh,
just played today. That's how I
I
did it. So,
forgot, and I was struggling and struggling and trying
yeah,
all this stuff.
yeah.
And
Mhm.
if perchance you're trying to teach Google Photos, it's much better through the Zoom share screen because straight mirroring or the Apple Apple TV, I don't know, when you say mirror my phone and you're on Google Photos, it will only show when you're on a photo. It won't show the other screens. So, but Zoom is good.
Thank you, and I want to tell Chris too how much I learned from you. I love Google Photos, and that's all I use. And just on Sunday, just before you had your breakdown, I learned a lot of stuff again.
Good.
Well, the rest of it's up there now, so you can
I
can
saw
go.
it. I saw it already. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank
Murray,
you
go,
all.
and Murray, go ahead.
Yeah, on your presentation, there were two things. One, there was one little tiny bit I missed when you said you went to Canva and did something to automatically create that presentation, and I forget what it was. Something about
So
magic.
in
something.
Canva, they have a feature called Magic Design.
Okay, magic design. Okay,
You
that's
need
what I
to
want to know.
find. It's an app within it's in an app within Canva, and it's called. You have to search for it. It's called
Yeah.
Magic Design. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I missed the name of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then all you have to do is you enter
the outline.
Yeah, enter it in, and it'll create the whole presentation for you. It's really
Okay.
pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
And then I wanted to make a comment about your Gemini live. You know, I did almost exactly the same thing for a few things in genealogy using Copilot, the free version, and it was exactly the same. I mean, I went through the whole thing. It gave me the outline. It gave me the ideas. Did exactly the same thing that your Gemini Live did, but it's free.
Well, sort
Yes.
of, and I know that, and I did that with Copilot as well. But the thing about this is, did you see when I interrupted it? Like, did you see when I?
Yeah, and I've done that in Copilot too.
Really, because it is conversational, and you
Yeah.
can.
Oh no, this is completely conversation. I'm talking on my phone as if I were speaking to somebody on the other end.
Yeah. Yeah, except
Anyway.
it didn't want me to interrupt it in the end, just like my wife. Darn it all anyway. It didn't want me interrupted at the end.
I noticed that.
Yeah, but it is, and I see huge applications for this, and particularly with seniors, because particularly seniors who have a bit of dementia and they're talking all the time to could be a device, and if someone asks you 10 times when it's time for lunch, you're going to get sort of tired of it. But Gemini Live, you could talk, it'll give you the answer all the time, right?
Yeah, for Copilot AI, I can't believe how fast it's made some of my genealogy research, because it's told me where to go, exactly what to do, shown me examples. I mean, for example, there was a heading of a book in Swedish, and I took the picture and I said, please translate all of these headings into English for me. Perfect, in 2 seconds.
One thing to realize with Gemini Live, it isn't like Miss A where you have to say a magic word. Here, you activate it through that icon.
Right.
Once activated, it remains activated until you shut it down. So
yeah, that's the same with Copilot.
If you do not shut it down, it is constantly listening and it will be interacting. So be careful. You could be off on a tangent. You forgot to shut it down. Well, it's recording everything that's going on. So be careful with it. That's one thing you have to realize. It isn't a magic word that automatically starts it, because you turn it on and then it remains on until you physically turn it off, or until your phone runs out of battery.
So the other thing that happened this week, I sent Chris Gould a video. Well, I don't know how she got it, but she said, "What the heck is that, Ron?" And it was my video last week that I made in Spanish, and it was all in Spanish. Now I used ChatGPT to convert the whole thing into Spanish. So it was, if you look at my video, Now, I would assume, well, the contractors are banging. I would assume, which is odd about it, because that video is produced, the title's in Spanish, the whole body of the text is in Spanish, and also the audio is all Spanish. And I would assume that it would have gone out to Spanish people. I don't know why, Chris, unless you're getting Spanish videos, I don't know why you got that. But anyway, it was all converted in with AI as well, which was really quite easy to do. So, do
It's
you
a
speak
Tech for
Spanish?
Senior video,
Yeah. Did you?
and it's on the Tech for Senior channel. I got a notice yesterday when I was looking at YouTube videos. It's on one of my subscribed
on one of yours,
channels. Yep.
Do you speak Spanish? Jim, do you speak, or Chris,
No.
do you speak Spanish?
No.
No. Oh,
No.
okay.
I have been researching
She can-
Spanish
she can
language
count
schools
in
in
Spanish.
Oaxaca. Because we're planning on going to Oaxaca and taking some Spanish classes, and
Yeah.
I was researching that.
Cooking
Yeah.
classes, though.
Well, so I wanted to put it out there and see what response I had to, for Spanish, because Spanish big language. And anyway, so it was a test that I was running. Go ahead, Greg.
You're
Unmute
muted.
yourself.
Earlier, we were just talking about identities and securities and stuff. And so it got me thinking. I called my insurance guy and I asked him if he had any type of insurance policy to protect us from identity theft or from stealing our property. And he said, no, to call the title company. So I called the title company, and this is only for the United States. The title company says that when we bought our house, we got a title insurance that was 30 years ago.
Right.
And we can update and get the new policies that guard against somebody trying to flip the house or somebody trying to steal our title. And it costs less than $2,000, and it's a one-time deal, and it's good. It's good forever. So anyway, that's just information I found out.
The video that I played, which is an interesting video, I don't know where I'll have to look it up, but the scenario is this family sitting at dinner, right? It's a Sunday dinner, and they're sitting at dinner with their kids and everybody, and they're having their Sunday dinner, and a moving truck rolls up to their front door. And this nice family in the moving truck gets out, and they bang at the front door and say, "We're here to move in." And this family says, "What are you talking about? This is our home. We've lived here for 20 years. And they say, "No, it's not. We bought it." And so they have, and they said, "No, you haven't." And they closed the door and got a little riled up about all this. Anyway, they phoned the police. The police came. They had, of course, the title to the house, and they had their furniture all in the big moving van out there, and they were waiting to get in. So there was an argument ensued, but the police said because they had proof of purchase and the title that these people had to move out. And they left, of course, under duress. And the people moving in had all their furniture moved out to a rental storage unit, and they moved all their furniture in. And 6 months later, those original owners were still in a hotel. Their furniture was still in storage, and it was still waiting to go before the courts. So it does happen, and it happens actually with greater regularity than you might think, Bob? I mean, it's something how could that possibly happen, right? It's crazy.
It's one other thing
Anyway,
you need to
you
stay.
can buy this insurance plan and cover and eliminate all those headaches.
That's
anyway,
right.
That's
Yeah.
what I found out.
Yeah, that's right. But it is
One other thing you can and should be doing, especially as seniors, is freeze your credit.
Yeah.
It's free, doesn't cost you anything. If you need to make a new loan, unfreeze, make your loan, and refreeze. Here in the US, we don't have to pay for that.
Right.
That
But it's
prevents
different in
anyone
Canada.
from creating a lien,
Right.
a loan. Okay.
Good point,
Right.
Bob. Thank you.
Right.
Okay.
But just to remind everyone, in Canada, it's not that way. To freeze and unfreeze
You have to
does
pay
cost
for
you
it.
money.
Yep.
You have to pay for it. Yeah. Carl, go ahead.
Yeah, two quick questions. One for Bob. If your home is already paid for, are you more secure than if you have a mortgage?
No, no. The only difference is you can, if you have a mortgage, you notify your lender and you have a sort of an ally on your side. If you don't have a mortgage anymore, you don't have anybody else that you can say, well, can you help me? And can you give me advice and all of that stuff? You have to do all your own research. It gets more expensive.
And that's
Well,
exactly how the scam works, is because your identity is stolen, and then they create a mortgage. They create a mortgage on your house for, let's say, $500,000. And then from that, they're able to sell your house with that mortgage. And that's how it works.
But they can't create a mortgage if your
Correct.
credit
That's
is
right.
frozen. Okay.
That's right. Yep.
That's why the first thing is freeze your credit. It's free. Do it.
Right.
No reason not to.
How do you freeze your credit?
Contact all three major credit bureaus and start the process to freeze your credit.
So that means I need two-factor authorization if I want to use my credit cards?
No, it means nothing to the credit you already have established. It prevents new credit from being generated as long as the freeze is in place.
Okay.
Doesn't change what you got. If you got a credit card, that's got a $25,000 limit, you're good to go up to that $25,000. Now, if you want to extend that credit, that of course is new credit. And for that, you'd have to unfreeze, do the process, and then you refreeze.
So there's nothing I can do by going to my county and telling them that?
No.
Some counties actually have a service where if anything happens to your title, any inquiries or anything, they will notify you. But that's a rarity. Most of them don't do a darn thing. They just, hey, my job is this, and I follow it. And the actual owner may never know that their title has now been conveyed to somebody, not your title, but somebody else now has title to your deed.
Okay, one last thing before GT has time is I send a text message or chat message to Murray, and I'd like his help in using Copilot and doing genealogy research, which is a favorite pastime of mine.
I'm sure Murray would be more than happy to help you.
Did
Greg,
you include your email so I can contact you by email?
Yeah, I gave you my email. I put it in there, 007.cak@gmail.com.
Yeah, just a minute. I'll try to find it.
Okay. While you're doing that, Greg, the last word. You get the last word today.
We'll see about that. Besides the credit, our house is paid for, and it's worth quite a bit of money. And she said you still can get a title policy and or update your title policy on your house to eliminate this.
Right.
Because if somebody goes to try to steal your title, it'll lock that.
Right. Thanks, Greg. Thanks a lot.
Good show. Thanks.
Thanks a lot. We have to go. It's 20 minutes past the hour. Don't forget, our premiere video starts in 10 minutes. And Huey will be here next week. I'll be in the background, sitting with my feet up, just relaxing. And hopefully you can finish right on the minute there, Huey, next week. And you're muted.
Yeah, I know. I'll aim for that, Ron. As I do every week, but it's hard to hit the target.
All right. Everyone, have a great week, and we'll see you soon. All right.
Thanks, everybody. See you next week.
Don't forget our Thursday show.
Thursday. Yep.
Yeah, see you Thursday. Bye-bye.